Hi there guys, welcome back to another episode of The Art of Business English. I hope you're all having a great week. This is Andrew Ambrosius here again. And are you a small business owner, or do you have to give short presentations? Have you ever thought about how you could make a short company presentation more attractive without spending a fortune on a professional? Well, if this sounds like you, or even if you would like to learn how you could make your presentations a bit more interesting, then today's episode will be super helpful. I was basically faced with the same dilemma. I was thinking to myself, how can I make a presentation more engaging? Instead of just sending a PDF attached to an email, I thought, what if I recorded myself giving the presentation on my PC? Then send that video direct to my potential client. So if this type of thing sounds like you, then or sounds like something that you'd like to do, then today you're here, or you're in for a real treat, as I'm going to show you guys a behind the scenes look at how you can develop your own in-house presentation without spending a fortune. Okay, so all it takes is a little know-how and creativity, and you're on your way. So let's have a look then. And as this was how the idea for today's episode was born. Today we're going to be covering three main areas. Basically, what I'll be doing is I'll be looking at what you need, okay, for a basic video. Okay, what type of software, what type of things, what type of gadgets, and then how you can prepare your PowerPoint so that, or your pages, or whatever it is that you use. So how you use that, or how to prepare for that. And finally, I'll be looking at where you can host your video so that then you can send it on to your customer. So if you need any help with your presentation vocabulary and expressions, then please take a look at episodes 39, 40, and 41, okay? Because there we cover all the language that you need and the steps you should take to create a captivating presentation. So let's get started with what you need. So what you need today. Well, the concept here is that we're going to be creating a PowerPoint or pages, yeah? So on your PC. We will then use like screen recording software to capture all the movement, which is basically what I'm doing now. And all of the things that happen on our screen. And we will need a microphone to capture the sounds. Okay, so firstly, you will need a PC or Mac with a copy of PowerPoint, okay, or Pages, all right? You could use Prezi if you want to create your presentation in Prezi, that's fine. However, this will require that you do understand how Prezi works, okay, which is pretty much outside of the scope of this lesson. But if you're interested, go check out Prezi. It's really quite captivating and a bit more dynamic in some ways. So secondly, you should really have a dual monitor set up. So to take advantage of the presenter view in PowerPoint, okay, this will allow you to see what you've written as notes, okay, while only recording the second screen. Here you can see a screenshot of my setup, okay. Here on the left I have the presenter view, Audacity, and Word with the transcript I've created for this episode. And on the right, I have the PowerPoint presentation with the screen recording. Okay, so next you'll require some sort of screen capturing software. There are some free options. However, I personally use Camtasia, okay, which is from TechSmith. It's on the PC. Now, Camtasia is not a free option. However, if you are looking for a free option, there are ones such as Flashback Recorder, okay, and Open Broadcaster Recorder. However, this is quite technical. So if you're willing to invest some money, then there is also Snagit, and Snagit is from TechSmith as well, and ScreenFlow, which is quite common for the Mac. These are all good options. Remember, you should get a screen recording program that offers some basic video editing, okay? We will need to cut out some frames if we make mistakes, okay? And this will save us a lot of time from repeating the recording over and over again. So the next thing you will need is a good microphone. You know, you can use one from a headset or the one that comes with your PC or webcam. However, to be honest, a good mic makes a huge difference for audio quality. You can get some really cheap and good quality mics from Amazon, obviously. Blue Yeti is the standard for podcasting and costs about 120 to 180 euros, depending on where you look. You can also use what I use, which is a Samsung CO1U Pro, which you can pick up for about 80 euros. Not a huge investment, but the difference in sound quality is very noticeable. Finally, there are some optional things, a couple of optional things you could grab. Firstly, you can record your audio separately, okay, using Audacity. I like to use Audacity. The advantage to this is that you're able to edit the audio as a separate file and then tweak it so that the sound is better. The only issue I've found with Audacity is that it requires a bit of a learning curve. But on the positive side, it's free, and its popularity means that there are a lot of instructional videos on YouTube to learn how to do things. Secondly, you can invest in a presentation pointer, something like this. Basically, a USB pointer device that allows you to move your slides back and forward. The advantage of one of these is that you can flick through your slides without making much noise. Like if you use the keyboard, it'll be like click, click, click. The advantage is that if you're presenting as well in person, then they're a great option, as you can hold them, or they can be held in your hand quite subtly, and that can help you to really interact with your audience without having to be near your keyboard. Okay, so now that we have all of the pieces in place, let's take a look at how we can prepare a presentation so that we can record it, okay? So I'm just going to show you guys what I've got here. This is for my language school, so Castos Immerscom School of English company presentation. So obviously we're going to need to have an introductory slide, okay? And then we will have an introduction, okay? So we would explain what we're going to be talking about. All of this is covered in the episodes that we have 39, 40 and 41. So what you need to do basically is you should have, I'm going to show you now how we do this. I'm just going to move PowerPoint across here. So what you need to do is you need to create animation on these slides. Okay, so here are all the points in this slide that I'll be talking about. All right, so you can see here, we've got on the top here, insert design transitions. Transitions are for the transitions between slides, but animations are, see how these numbers appeared? Animations will bring in these in the order. So when you click them, number 1 will appear, then number 2 will appear, and so forth. And what this allows is it helps to create a bit more of a dynamic presentation, as opposed to just having all the text there and then your voice continually talking. Remember, this will be a video, so someone will be sitting listening to it. So there has to be some sort of movement on the screen. It can't be very static. If it's static, then obviously it's going to be a bit boring, okay? So the person just listening to you. So if I'll give you an idea of how this would go. You would bring the introduction in, and then you would tell the person, first I'll be talking about who are we, okay? And then I'll be looking at our team. In the third place, I'll be covering our services and then our methodology. In the fifth point, I'll be covering the types of subsidies that you can get. Following that, I'll be looking at our facilities. And in the seventh part, I'll be covering some of our school in the news. And then finally, the type of clients who we have worked with or continue to work with. Okay, so that is how we can animate this video so that it is a bit more dynamic, okay? Then what you can also do is, for example, here, if I wanted to talk about the different aspects, you can see again, I've got the numbers here because I have got these animated. Now I've got float in. So you can make this seem like a little bit more like a video by doing a float in. So we'll just bring in the points like this. And this makes the video seem a bit more professional. Remember, one of the advantages as well of PowerPoint these days is that you do have design templates. So if we look over here on the right, you've got design ideas. For this slide, we don't have any, but if I go back to this side, you can generate a number of different ideas, and Word does that for you. Now, the advantage is that you don't really need to have a graphic designer for all this type of stuff. You don't really need to understand how to use PowerPoint at a really advanced level, okay? And then, so for example, here were some design ideas on this slide as well. And then you can add your pictures and things like that. And then, it makes it look much more dynamic. You've got your corporate colors, and each of these points will be coming in because I've got them on, as you can see here, I've got them on a sequence, an animated sequence. Okay, so this is a great way to present and talk about the different aspects of your business, and then you can really move on. Like, so here you've got a number of photos, so you could be showing your facilities to your potential customer, or you can have photos of your team. Here I've got some of our clients that we've worked with, and what I can also do is I could, if I wanted to talk about each client individually with the animation, I could bring each client in one at a time. So that's basically how we're going to be setting up our PowerPoint to make it an animated process, okay? So what next? Well, once we have the presentation recorded using the software, okay, then we're going to need to host it somewhere. So for example, what can we do with hosting? Well, obviously you've got your first one, which is probably the most common and the most popular, which is YouTube, okay? Now with YouTube, the only thing is that you're not going to get any branding. You're going to get YouTube branded video, and you can make YouTube videos private, okay? So you could create a YouTube account for your company, and then if you didn't want people to see this video, or if you only wanted this video to be seen by the client, then you would make it private and you would share the private link with the potential customer. The only thing is that you're not going to really have any branding. You're not going to have your logo. You're going to have a YouTube logo. The next option is Vimeo. Now, you can get a cheap Vimeo account for about, I think, 60 euros a year. And with that, you're going to get a bit more functionality. Maybe then you can start adding your logo to the player, and it will seem like it is a bit more professional. With that, you can also, get some statistics and feedback on how often it's been seen and by who. So there's a basic plan, and then, the plans move up for businesses. So it can be quite useful, Vimeo, if you're willing to invest the money. You can also just host it on Dropbox. I mean, you could just put the video in your Dropbox account, even if it's your personal one, and then just create a share link with your with Dropbox, and then just send that over to the customer via email, and then they can click, download, or watch the video from Dropbox. Another option, the same thing, very similar, is with Google Drive. I mean, many people have access to Google Drive or Dropbox because they have it on their phone or whatever. So Google Drive is pretty much similar to Dropbox. You can share a link to the video file for the customer. Now, if you do have a WordPress website, you could, and you have enough space on your server, you could upload the video, the finished video, to the server of WordPress, and you could host the video directly on your own WordPress website, and then send the customer the URL for that page, okay? And then from there, they could just watch the video directly from your website, and that way you can really just make it really 100% your own branding, and that would look quite professional as well. Now, the type of video that we're going to be producing, I mean, a presentation will probably take you about I would say 20 minutes maximum to produce. So the type of video file that we're going to be producing at 1080p HD resolution will probably only be about 60-90 megabytes. So we're not talking a massive video file. Okay, so it could be a good option to host it directly on your website if possible. Okay, so basically those are the steps that we're going to be using to record the screen and then capture the audio and then host our video file. The only step that will be left will be to actually edit the video. Now, most videos, if they're done quite well with a script and you know exactly what you're going to be saying, you probably won't make many mistakes, okay? If it's your first time making a video, you may be a little bit nervous, but you shouldn't be, because you're going to be recording this alone, and it's not something that's live. So you can take your time, you can make mistakes and not worry about it. It's not like the same pressure as a live presentation in front of people. Now, you can use all of the material from the Art of Business English and really generate a really captivating presentation using the language, a strong call to action, and things like that. This way you'll have a really solid script in place, and even if you're speaking English, it's not your first language, you should be able to sound really confident and put together a really empowering and interesting company presentation. And the good thing is, once you've done one presentation, you could just make some small adjustments to it when you do change or offer it to another customer or a different potential customer. And that way, you're really not doing it more than once. You're just making some small changes to the original presentation. And that type of presentation, in my opinion, can be a little bit more entertaining and interesting for your target audience. Okay, so let's have a look then. That's pretty much it from me. Quite a quick video for you here today, but I just thought that since I had gone through the process, then I could show you guys how it's done and hopefully inspire you to have a go at creating a short video. Now, remember, you just need to know the last step you'll need to do is at the editing stage. Okay, so that is outside of the scope of this. However, most editing software is quite simple and straightforward. You'll just need to make sure that you have got nice quality sound and that you do cut out any of your mistakes. Okay, and make sure that there are some nice transitions between each of your slides. So that's all from me. You can subscribe for free at, where, the Art of Business English. Some good news, pretty excited. We do have, and now we are registered and live on Spotify. So for all of those users out there who use Spotify, you can now find the Art of Business English on Spotify. So look us up, just type into the search there, the Art of Business English, click subscribe, and then you'll get free reminders every week about the podcast that we release on the Art of Business English. Well, guys, that's it for me for another week, and I hope you're all having a great start to your September, and I look forward to having you all back again next week. Now, remember, please feel free to give me your comments, and if you do have any questions regarding some of the technicalities of creating this little video, then just let me know. I'll be more than happy to give you my feedback and ideas. Okay, so take care now, guys, and have a great week. Bye for now.